Again, good morning.
Good morning. Saturday.
Okay, can we get some coffee up in this piece? No, I'm playing. Good morning, everybody.
I do need some coffee now.
I can tell.
You sell coffee, so yeah.
I mean, that was a plug.
I know.
That's a plug. Yeah. You know. Welcome to quarter 3 of our Black Author Masterclass. Wow. We're man. We've really made it to this point. That might have been me. Hold on, watch. Yeah, I'm good.
His Lamborghini tripping.
I'm good for that. I hit it every time. Before we get started, just want to see, just kind of get feedback on how has the classes been for you guys? How was the process? Well, no, please.
Awesome.
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 Awesome's a one word. Can we get a little more description with that?
Fantastic.
What has made
amazing. That was the bad part.
What has made it awesome? Let's go that route.
It stretched me.
Okay.
It stretched me, and it helped me to communicate with my wife. On a different level.
So we're gonna send you a therapy.
Invoice.
Come on. No. Yes, sir.
Well, because for me, it was like I always thought that she had a lot of art in her, and this class helped.
About you.
No, but it helped me to communicate to you what I always thought was there. That was the marriage part. That helped that kind of like relationship. But for me and personally, I'm off on journeys now to do some things that I never imagined. I came to the class wanting to write a book, and 3 books later.
How many books later?
3 books later. This class it just planted, for me, it planted like a fire that is just, I'm on fire now. I'm trying not to think about writing a book. That's my mission, is not to think about writing a book.
Once you find that template and you find out how easy it is, it's hard not to, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
I wake up with a book on my mind.
How many books did we say you have minimum in you?
Right.
50? 50?
Yeah, but you didn't tell the truth.
It's more than 50.
Yeah,
it really is. That's why I said minimum.
It's 50
But someone who's never wrote a book, if you hear 50,
it's scary.
50. But once you get rolling, you're like, hold on, I got a book. Every time I get up and move, I see a book coming out of me. I could write books all day if I had time to do it, right? Excellent.
For me, it was motivation because when I came to class, actually they drugged me to the class because I really didn't want to come. But when I came, I thought I wanted to write a children's book, but then I realized I wanted to write my story.
There we go. Okay.
But hey, you can still write a children's book too.
Did you write your story?
And I wrote my story about my in-home child care. So, yeah.
So I wasn't able to make it to the first class.
That's why you two are sitting together.
Yeah, but Dawn knew I was working on a book, so she was the one that put me onto it, and I think that it was everything I needed that I didn't know. Like there was just, I feel like a lot of fear for me as far as splitting profits and who's getting what and not knowing, and so instead of along with doing my own research, this was everything that we needed from like, even the last class was so much information of the barcodes, and there's just a lot of information to learn, so.
Our future repeater.
Yes, you already know. I'm so glad we've had this talk and this time together. No, I like her. Didn't make the first class, but I have a friend who comes here. She knows the owner and stuff like that. Her name is CJ, and she knew I was aspiring to write a book. And so she said, you need to check this out. Ended up finding you on Facebook to say, where is the class? Can you give me the information? We got Mr. Javon over here. Am I saying that right, Davion?
It's one more syllable. JVon.
I got Davion over here. You know, he was sending me the information, but not really because it wasn't to the right email.
That was my bad.
But it was supposed to happen because I sat up in here until for like 4 hours till that class started and figured it out. But I left so motivated and felt like I could accomplish so much. You guys gave the tools that I needed. Really what I learned too is that I'm ambition on fire, but not a whole lot of action. Meaning I have all this stuff in my head. I gotta figure out how to focus and put it down where it needs to go. So got the house out the way, ended up earlier this year burying my mom. So now some things, thank you. Now some things feel like they can come into focus. The reason why I said I might need to do the class again is because I like the motivation and the fire that I felt from the second class that I was able to attend. So that's why I'm here today. I know I'm going to get what I need to continue on, and you just might not be able to get rid of me. That's all.
That's a good problem to have, right?
We're cool with that. How was your mac and cheese?
My mac and cheese.
Hey, I mean, if you're going to be around that much, you got to start cooking at least.
Hey, look, I just learned how to make dressing.
Oh, never mind. We're
42
good.
years old, so you can
Just
try
bring
it
the
if you want
chips.
to. Yeah. But I make some bomb snacks. You want some ghetto egg rolls or some walking tacos? I got you.
Cool. See how it works? All right, cool. What kind of phone do you have?
Phone?
Yes.
iPhone.
Perfect. You said trying to get it out of you. Do you prefer writing, talking? Do you prefer writing or talking? Let's go that route first.
I think the talking would work best. And here's the thing, why I say I left on fire. I paid for the edition of Evernote.
Okay. Perfect.
And I wrote a paragraph.
Okay.
I said it. And it articulated the paragraph
Perfect.
for me. So I have the tool.
Okay, cool. So I would just recommend, as soon as it comes up, pull it out, just get it off.
Okay.
You ever had, everybody can bear with you, ever had that situation where you're laying down at night, you're ready to go to bed, you're resting, you're finally like, and then all of a sudden you start getting all these ideas, and it's like, I can't go to sleep now because my mind is going everywhere.
Yeah.
And then when you get up and you start journaling or whatever it is, it's like, there's your process.
And if you're busy a lot, when you're driving, the only thing that you're really busy doing while you're driving is driving. So you can take that as an opportunity, pull it out, and just speak into it.
Just like we do when we're talking to our friends on the road.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Maximize my time.
There you go, that part. I haven't met you, my dear sister.
No. What was the question?
Well, I don't know if you're gonna answer because I haven't seen you in any of the
yeah,
classes.
yeah,
There we go. So I was
Try.
no, absolutely. Welcome to the class. What's your name?
I'm Cam.
Perfect, Cam. How did you hear about it? Excellent.
She told me about it.
Perfect. I don't know if I've seen you at any of the
Well,
classes yet,
she
neither.
already has a book, and she's been
Excellent.
promoting it a lot and talking about it. And
So, it's, hold on.
Hey, come on. Come on. Let's not minimize that.
Can I,
Wait a minute.
Can I, don't we get tired when somebody says, "Oh, you and your little business"? That's how you just presented your book. It's still a book.
You came at the right time.
It was still a process. It was still your energy. It was still your thoughts. It was still your creativity. It still came out. Whether you put it in physical form or whether it's digital, which travels much further, you still created a book. And we can still take that same ebook and turn it into a physical book too.
Yeah, it was mostly for a buy hand. I'll opt in for my website to get email marketing, but overall I want to make a poem book about herbs. I'm an herbalist, so I kind of want to
Excellent.
write something about that, maybe health and wellness topics, and create books around that.
You're in the right place. So even if we don't get a chance to go into that today, we'll connect you with JBon so we can get you the past information. Hopefully you'll follow up on that, so at least get you caught up. And then even if you come back around next year to the classes, you'll be able to do it. The reason why Nate was reminding, I always say you have at least 50 books inside you. This is the same concept. So you could break down a book for each herb. That becomes multiple books. You could break down what these set of herbs do for you. That's a whole nother book. So even if you went that route and then say, I'm gonna start talking about my life now. And then I'm start talking about my children. And I'm gonna talk about these experiences here. And you start looking up, it's like, man, I got a book every time I do something. So that's how it goes. So I'm glad you two have made, I know we've met.
Yeah.
And so I'm really happy to see you as well. So especially, are we looking to get into a book as well at some point?
well, yeah, I mean, I already have one done
Okay.
pretty much, so I feel like this was perfect alignment for me, like coming in here knowing that this was going to be the topic today.
Excellent.
Because I feel like this is the information. I've been reaching out to other people that have published their own stuff,
Perfect.
and they keep directing me to this information.
Perfect.
And so, yeah, I just feel like I'm exactly where I need to be at the right time.
Excellent.
And yeah, watching the previous book, the videos that you guys sent.
Okay, so you did see last week's or last?
Yeah, I didn't see the barcode one that she mentioned though.
That should be,
I don't
that
know
should be
if
the
that's
last
a
one.
video.
It's recorded, but it's not on YouTube. The only one that's on YouTube is the
Gotcha.
first one.
Yeah.
So that's the one I was gonna recommend. So if you understand the clothing and everything
Yeah.
that goes into the book.
That would be dope. And yeah, I have when you talked about the template, you know, setting that up, I feel like I have like an immense amount of ideas in here.
Excellent.
It's all probably in one of these or my old laptop, you know,
Excellent.
but I've been really focused on breaking down the template, not so much overwhelming myself with sitting down and typing, but breaking down like the first chapter, you know, like this part of the story, this part of the story. So I can see going to sleep the other night how much information I just was like, I gotta write this down, you know, just getting in the habit of writing it down and letting everything else like organize itself along the journey. Versus getting overwhelmed by all of the information at once. So yeah, watching those videos really like made it seem possible to like do what I want to do.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a lot of my work.
Oh, and your photography book too. Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't know that about you, and so
You'll learn a lot. I don't talk a lot about what I do
can you
in
tell
here.
me about yourself? I don't.
Yeah, I don't. You'll learn. Like they'll be like, man, he's really bringing it down. He don't really. Yeah, I don't really speak much about myself. But since you two are first to the class or first time to the class, my name is Brother Hannibal Muhammad. I am a photographer, graphic designer, web developer. I work in wealth management, community work, student minister. I've been blessed to have 2 books that's in Grassrootz right now. If you look when the kids, it's a box right behind you, Nakia. If you can just grab it real quick. This will be my very, very first book that I put out, and I did it as a box set, and then I broke it down smaller. So I might talk a little about that today. This is what the box set looked like. That's not this particular one, but this is what it looked like. And the original box set. Everybody give David a round of applause. Nuts. The original box set came in with a custom book. Same book, but it was custom. I spent a lot of money to get each copy made. It was 100%, 100-point silk paper, full color, details on the outside, full aesthetics. And I put it in a sleeve. Came with a coffee mug, a pen, sold it for $100. And then you had just the book. And then I broke them down into different sets just to try to get people involved and trying to give a presentation for it. But yes, I've been involved in many things. I've helped put a lot of projects together. I got brought in to do the Authors Summit a couple years ago. And as me and Javion would talk, and it was just like, look, I love what we're doing. Let's get back. So if you notice, we never said, hey, make a donation. Hey, here's the price. It was always, we want to see more authors come out. So we started laying things out. We reached out to Nakia, and this person who's trying to, she's not hiding, she's this guy that I'm going to bring her over a little bit. Our dear Simone.
This is my sister. Hey, everybody.
Hello. Simone, no, Simone, come back. Come back. Yeah, I'm going to utilize this moment right now, too. So, I want you right here in front of the screen with the lights all up in your face, spotlight. Simone, stop falling behind you. Man.
Like I'm
right here,
already.
Right here, yes. Simone was actually, when we had what's the first summit?
First one, yeah.
We had the first summit. She was in the same seat you all were in watching the summit happen. And in the summit, she heard Nakia speak. And they both had a relating circumstance. She connected with Nakia, got started on her book, and then she wound up connected with me for the next phase, and then connecting with Javion for the next phase. And then a year later, at the next summit, she wound up being one of the speakers. So,
Speaking of published authors.
Yeah, speaking of published authors. So, once we decided to make this move, we were like, we gotta have Simone as well. So she wound up being part of the project, and she really heads a lot of the work. And we're like, no, hold on, we've been doing this for a while. You got this. But that's how these things got going. So yes, I'm just Hannibal. You know, I'm just little Hannibal, Brother Hannibal. Please. I'm just Brother Hannibal. I'm just here to help wherever I can cover down. I always try to plug everybody else. This guy right here, He's going to publish it. He'll edit it. He'll even put the design work for it. Whatever you need, he got you. The kid is going to same thing. He's going to make sure the marketing is in point. He's going to make sure public speaking. That's what he's going to do today. Simone, grind. She's going. Hold on, we got a whole new business out too right now. Yeah. Yes. No. Well, you sent me something on it. You want to speak on it real quick?
Okay.
That's how it happened to me. So we're gonna do it while we're here.
Yeah, I just launched not too long ago Pristine Essence Personal Assistance, virtual personal assistance, providing services virtually for business owners, small business owners, basically anybody who lives a busy life, but all the technical stuff keeps falling by the wayside because you just don't have the time to do it. So it's me, my sister, and I have another sister who are just always on our laptops and doing our own thing. So it was like, if we can do it for ourselves, we can come together and create a business from it and do it for other people as well.
Does that sound like something that could be utilized when it comes to publishing your book?
I have 10 people.
We'll make sure.
I do.
So that's what you're getting. So I'm just Hannibal at the end of the day. So you can take a seat. Thank you. Appreciate you. I know. So I know we're a little behind on schedule. What I'm going to focus on, I'm going to be pretty quick because our focus today is Nakia. Don't tell him I'm saying this, but he's been like avoiding the spotlight through all of our classes. So we had to corner him. So he's going to really carry most of class today. So what
that's why I'm a cameraman. You know?
And he's a cameraman. Yeah, he do everything.
Behind the camera.
He purposely stays behind the camera like he doesn't have everything already positioned and is recording. But anyway, but today, before we get, I heard you had a piece you want to go over as well.
Yeah, just something small.
You want to go first, or you want me to go first? No, the kid's he's going to anchor.
Okay.
You want me to go first? Okay. So I'm gonna sit down and do this part. I can work it from there. I'm gonna sit down and do this part from my laptop. If you have a laptop, if you have a phone, if you have a pen and pad, go ahead and get it out now. What we're going to focus on, I'm going to show, is how to self-publish, some of the steps that you will go through, and even how somebody was talking about the splits in regards of the publishing and all that, what these things can look like on KDP. All right? So we're going to kdp.amazon.com. If you can see it at the top of the screen.
Make it a little bit bigger, Hannibal.
I have to bring it back to keep.
No. I'm talking about on your screen.
If everybody's ready, let me see our hands real quick, so I know everybody's ready. KDP, Kindle,
you using
directpublishing.amazon.com. Yeah, I'm just gonna use this one as an example.
I don't know how to do it on
Apple.
And I mean, that part's fine. Everybody can see this up here, though, right? Okay, cool. So that's fine with you.
No, I might be able to do it.
Yeah, perfection.
Hey, it's okay. You know, that's part of being who we are. So while Nakia's putting this together, quick story. When it came to me writing a book, I have this one book I want to write. I'm totally terrified of it. So if you listen to the way I'm speaking on it, it means it hasn't been written yet. And this is the first book I've been wanting to write, but I'm totally scared of writing this book. I've been running from this book. And I started finding excuses on why I haven't wrote it. So I was like, well, I don't know how to write a book. I've never done this before. So my mindset went to, well, let's learn how to write and publish a book. Maybe that'll give me the confidence to write this book. So I've been kind of taking my steps towards this particular book I want to write, which happens to be the first book I wrote, In My Father's Steps. In My Father's Steps is pretty much most of my books is being in the ministry. You're blessed to be on a podium and speak. A lot of times that's recorded. So I'm able to take those recordings and transcribe them. Take them out of certain verbiage and put them into book verbiage and compile them together. Guess what? I got books. So it actually made my life a lot easier. I just had to pay somebody to transcribe them and then go back and just check the edits and stuff on it. So on KDP, if everybody's on KDP, I currently have on here, I have 3 books. My first book, this right here is a workbook I put together for it. I spoke to an educator one day and was trying to figure out how can I get my books into the schools. And her response to me was, You got a workbook for it? You got a lesson plan for it? I said, no. What was going on? She said, you know how difficult it is throughout the school year for me to figure out what we're going to teach? And you want me to read your book and then try to put together a lesson plan for it? I would never do it. Oh, bet. So let me put together a lesson plan so that'll make it easier for you to put it in your schools. Now, so that's why you have this one, which is life skills. And then this one came a couple years later. This is a much smaller book. Now, I'm going to focus on In My Father's Steps first. Under KDP, you create your profile, create your account, you create your where you want your money and everything to go. I always recommend setting it up under a business. Why do we set it up under a business? Say it again?
Write-offs.
There you go. We want our write-offs. So that's the best thing you're going to get out of it. It's personal. You don't get the write-offs. So anything that you purchase for the book, any purchases you make of the book, those also become your write-offs. The shipping, write-offs. Everything you're doing for that point becomes a write-off. So just a kind of glimpse of what it looks like going through the steps. Once you get in there, and it's like they made some adjustments on here from last time I was in here. You choose your language, book title, subtitle. If your book happens to be a series, you can start creating your series now so they know which series it's going to be. If you have an edition number, you can put that information in there. You put your author information, your contributing author, and your description of the book. I own the copyright and I hold necessary publishing rights. I need to make sure they know that this is my book. I ain't sharing this with nobody but me. Then they ask, additional questions. They want to know the categories. They want to know what market of Amazon you want to ship through. Your primary, we all live in the US, we're .com. Then you have your keywords. We understand keywords. This is what indicates as people are searching for different books, how they're going to be able to find it. I published mine in February 22nd, 2021. To me, it could be very self-explanatory, but it can also be very challenging at the same time. But if you ever apply for a credit card or fill out a job application, it's going to be like the same steps. It's asking basic information. Right here where it says you can get a free KDP ISBN, I'm always going to say no. That is your choice. Davion, you want to tell them why we don't utilize their ISBNs?
If you use their ISBN, you won't get any credit. On Amazon, it'll just say through KDP or something like that. It's not going to say the actual publishing company, and it just doesn't look professional. And you want to have that look where it looks professional, where people will take you more serious. If you have that KDP ISBN, a lot of buyers won't take you serious. A lot of bookstores won't take you serious. So that's the key to this publishing game, is you want to be taken serious.
Thank you, Javion. So purchase my own ISBN. Now, I didn't technically have a publishing company, but because I have Brother Hannibal LLC, I can do anything I want to do under it. So guess what I made as a umbrella under it? Publishing. So as I set up my ISBN, I did under Brother Hannibal Publishing. I chose for my interior to be black and white. I like the white paper. Somebody behind me, if I remember, likes the cream. Yes, perfect. Likes the cream. If you do black and white, whether it's black and white and cream or black and white and white, the printing is much cheaper compared to if you do color. So if you're going through Amazon and you only got like one picture or one thing that's going to be in color, guess what? You got to pay full color for it, the whole book. Where it's like, it went from, let's say 10 cents a page, that's a lot per page, it's not that. Let's say it's 1 cent per page, to now you're paying 25 cents per page because you have to choose full color. We want to avoid that. That's why I did the custom for that particular box set. Then one of the most common or standard dimensions for book sizes is 6x9. You can always play around where you want to do that at. How you want to do it. I did no bleed. Mine is a matte. A lot of books you'll see will be a gloss. This is probably a matte right here. That's a matte. And then, that's cool.
You
You got a gloss or?
Yeah. One of these gloss, one of them's matte.
This would be more like a matte, glossy. You know how you'll see like the reflection and stuff on it. That'd be your gloss. Yeah, that's a gloss. That's a gloss. Oh man, hold on, I haven't seen these yet. Whoa! Come on, man. I'm about to get teary, guys. You guys, give me a moment.
Y'all did that.
No, you did that.
Y'all did that.
You did that. We just happen to contribute to it. Yeah, that's a matte. So if you scroll through these, the first two are gloss, the last one is a matte. So as you're choosing what you want your cover to look like, and then your manuscript would be the writing of your whole book, and then they send it over, you'll upload it as a PDF, and then you'll have your cover. This is new to AI generated. I wanted you all to see this part down here though. So for me to print one book, it cost me $4.86. Do y'all remember how much my book costs? How much I'm charging the retail for my book? With the hundreds with the boxes. I don't know the boxes, but good point.
$15.99.
25. But how much does it cost me to print it? $5. And then if you add in for shipping, it's like $1 for each book per se, somewhere around that period.
Shipping out of yours?
So what I've done, in order for Amazon to ship me what's called author copies, it's like $1 per book, maybe a little less, probably less than that. So when you add that up, let's just go off the 5 and the 25. Is that The Alchemist?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my
Cool.
next book.
I'm actually reading it right now. I peeped it. My bad. I have squirrel moments sometimes too. So if we look at it just from the aspect of $5 for me to print and ship the book, and I'm charging $25 for the book, I just made a $20 profit. So when you're trying to figure out how you want to work it out, now that's me personally selling a book. So what we want to do is we'll have them, you'll order your author copies, and you can order as many as 1 to like 500,000 or so, and they'll ship them all over to you, and then you're able to get them at the $4 each, $5 each, and then you can sell it at the price you want. Now, here's the other part. If you was to go to Amazon and purchase my book, you see it's $25. Printing is $4.86. Royalties for Amazon, they're taking 60%.
And let me also say this: that $4.86, that's for his big ass book.
Yes.
Most people, it's going to be in the range of about $2.15. It depends on everything.
On the size
depends on page count.
Yes.
So it'll probably be around like $2.15, maybe $2.30. Again, depending on the page count, depending on if you have color in your books, depending on if it's a hardback or paperback. So it depends on a lot of things.
So what I'm getting from it is $10.14. Now, at the end of the day, I'm not complaining about that because it's Amazon. Amazon's a well-known platform. A lot of people go to Amazon. It's easy to get the sales. And if you purchase on Amazon, usually you get same day, next day, 2-day shipping, right? With a book, it's usually a 2-day. So compared to you call me, you want a book, you go on my website, you want a book, it may take me, you might get it in about a week or two, but you'll get a signed copy. So I push more on get a free signed copy of the book by going to my website or contacting me, so that you have that keepsake compared to the Amazon. The beautiful thing with Amazon, though, you're getting your royalties every 90 days. So if we make sales now in 90 days, I'm getting checks or direct deposits coming into my account based off of the sales that are being made. But I also recognize if I want money as soon as possible, because there's a lot of money that went into publishing these books, I'd rather give it to you hand to hand or through my website or mail it out to you on my end. So it makes it a lot easier that way. But at the same time, you're still looking at royalties. My book is in all these different countries as well. So when I look at KDP, I recommend setting it up. Most of them are going to be very similar in regards of the royalty setup. The beautiful thing with Amazon, with Barnes and Nobles, is the fact that they're well-known places, so people respect them. You know, if you place an order, something goes wrong, you're going to be able to get what you need to get in regards to refunds and stuff coming back on that side. And if you look at it, it didn't take me long to walk through that. Steps are pretty simple. And once you're set up, or like I said, you update your stuff, they'll tell you if you need to fix something, you make the fixes. If you're going through JBon to work on it, he'll make those adjustments for you as well. Any questions? Because I don't want to take up too much more time on my end.
I don't know
Yes.
if this was
Please.
like in regards like when you upload your PDF of your version, like they're gonna do all the sizing and automatically for you.
So,
or
great question. Great question. When you upload it to Amazon, they're going to take it and they're going to drop it into their format. And then it will show whether it fits within their format. And then you'll get like, I think it was on the other page. It was on the other page. You'll get, without saving, you know, like the little warning signs, little yellow. I think I saw one on maybe it might have been the other page. You get like a little triangle warning sign, say, hey, something's off, and you'll have to go through and verify what it is. You can sometimes push it through depending on how bad it is or how not bad it is. If it's too bad, they're gonna say, no, you gotta fix it. If it's going outside the margins, they're trying to protect your product so it doesn't start cutting off the words. So once you upload, it will show. The good thing is you're able to view it. I wanted all my chapters to land on, I believe, the right side. Yes, I want them to land on the right side. So when I was able to look at it, I was able to see some of them were still coming on the left side. Perfect. Let me go back. Let me do some page breaks so I can force it over to the right side, upload it again, check those particular chapter numbers I was checking for, and I was able to make those adjustments.
and did you upload it from like a Word document? Like I was saying, I have mine in Canva, where I could turn it into a PDF. When you uploaded it, was it just like a?
It had to be a PDF.
Like, okay.
I wrote mine in a Word doc, but I had to convert it to a PDF so that they receive it.
And then why Amazon? Like when you say Barnes and Noble and things like that,
Great.
like why Amazon?
Great question. So what was presented to me, I spoke to quite a few authors that I worked with that I was cool with, or I'm still cool with. And some said Ingram Sparks, because they'll do most of the work for you. But when I was speaking to other authors, like, they're going to take even more. And the thing about Ingram Sparks, they're taking a royalty. Then they're sending through Amazon for you. Amazon's taking a royalty, so you wind up getting much less. And it was like, well, why would you go through all these different publishings when you could do it yourself? And I'll show you, it's a lot easier. And Amazon being one of the most common platforms, I work with Amazon. I didn't know about Barnes & Noble until Nikhil was telling me about it. The good thing about Amazon, was it Amazon I went through? It was somebody I connected with. And once I got it published, they were also able to come back around and attach it to the Barnes & Noble, the Targets online. I even have it on the Apple, the iBooks as well. So those become other methods as well. But I went this route so that I can have more control, and I didn't have to go to somebody else to see if I wanted more books. I have to contact them to get the books for me when I can go and place the orders right now, and I can keep track of it a lot easier.
And I'll add to that, with Ingram Spark, they also charge you anytime you want to make any type of change to your book. So with KDP, if let's say you publish your book and a month down the line, you know what, I want to add this, I want to remove this. Any type of revision is free. You can make as many revisions as you want. No charge, you just upload it and next day, same day, it goes up live. With Ingram Spark, they charge you each time. I forgot, it's like $25 or something like that, but they charge you each time. So they kind of like hit your pockets a lot. Also, you don't have to just work with KDP. You can also go through Books, Barnes & Noble, Ingram Spark. You can use all of these platforms. You don't have to use one.
Yeah. When it comes to like those keywords, is that something that's going to be talked about today, or like what do you like?
I just use, what I do for the keywords is I put my introduction in ChatGPT and I tell him,
Okay.
give me 7 keywords.
Okay. That's my route, but I just wanted to know if there's another that would really maximize that. Like,
Okay. Yeah, chat got you.
That's what I have for the time being. Any other questions before I bring Simone?
I don't know if it's relevant. You said you were scared, and I don't think what you talked about was scary for you. What was you trying to tell us? That
It's still not out. I still haven't wrote it yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm still building up the confidence to write.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Well, I'll say this, man. You could start writing it. You could just work.
I did start on
it. Publish it. Okay.
I did start on it.
Okay, for sure.
I did start on it. I'll give you the name of the book is titled From Gethsemane to the Cross.
Okay.
And I want to break down really like the true essence of what happens during that period. But that requires a high level of credibility, research, and knowing when it's brought out, like it's going to be challenged. So you imagine with going that pathway, it's like, so let me take another pathway first so I can build some confidence. So I started doing these.
Okay.
And that's how
I was
got
gonna
there.
say, Jaden Smith said it one time, which has been like my affirmation for like when it comes up fear, but on the other side of fear is everything that we're like,
Yes.
everything that you want. So
Yes. Yes.
just like, and
Yes.
that's the amount of fear that you have with like writing this specific is a reason for that, and I understand, but like, yeah, on the other side of that is just like,
So what I've done, since we're on it, I've delivered 4 lectures, a 4-part lecture of it already. So I've started, that's what I said, yeah, I've started on it, you know, and I started on going into the pandemic. So I got 4 parts to it. I got a couple more parts I need to work out, and then I'll go back, tweak it, make some adjustments, start bringing in more scriptures and stuff to it, and then I'll be able to say,
So is this going to be one of those where you transcribe into the book?
yes, yes, it'll be one of those. It'll be one of those. So, but yes, my dear Simone.
Hercules! Sexual traffic.
So if you wonder why Javion's so giggly about me on that page, because Hannibal doesn't know, but we were having a conversation because I was like, yo, who's speaking tomorrow? And he said Brother Hannibal and Brother Nakia. I'm like, okay, I was thinking about putting together a few pieces to speak. He said, well, you know, Brother Hannibal up there, you gonna have to speak. So,
Oh yeah, let's give it. Let's give it. Yes.
But yeah, so quick introduction again. My name is Simone. I did come to the first Black Authors Summit. Actually, my first connection was Javion. I reached out to him via social media because I had saw something he had posted about the Black Authors Summit, and we started conversing about it. I came, met Brother Nakia, further met Brother Hannibal. Definitely a great community to stay connected to in every capacity. And I love that Brother Hannibal is showing you guys how to self-publish, because again, nothing we do, nothing they do here is for profit. It's literally because they like to see people win. They like to see people's ideas and thoughts come to fruition and become great, right? So this is wonderful. If you're like me, and I always put him on the spot because he's never going to say it. If you're like me, and this stresses you out, and you do not want to do this part, and you want to avoid this with everything in you, I just want to write the book and see the fruit. Please call Javion. Please call Javion.
Text me first.
I don't. Yeah, he's a texter. Don't call. Text me. But reach out, because this is wonderful. If you could do this, power to the people. I do a lot in my own life. I'm a full-time student. I work full-time. I got 2 kids, businesses, whole 9 yards. When I write something, I just want to write it. I'm working on children's books right now, and I don't even want to do the animations. Javion, please help me. Let's bring it together. So he's your man. He's going to get it done. And when he's doing it, he's going to communicate with you. You know, if there's something that he notices, he'll let you know. He'll bring it up. It's a beautiful process to see it come to fruition. But anyway, I'm so proud of you guys.
Yes.
Yes.
I love that. I'm already interested. I already definitely want to get them. I just showed my sister your book because I've been telling her she needs to open a daycare. So I just showed her. So I just have a couple quick points. Let me pull it up. Also, it always blows my mind to hear that there's something that Hannibal is afraid of.
Hey, I deal with a lot of fear. I challenge it.
I know that he says it's a challenge, but I don't know anybody better to overcome a challenge. Because the challenges this man has faced, and he still shows up and gets the job done the way he does, him and Javion, is insane. So please.
He's about to let you have it.
Hey.
I'm gonna back right because we got company. So I just had a couple quick points that helped me along the way. So when it was my turn to present my book at the Black Authors Summit, I'm really just gonna touch just a little bit on it because this is Nakia's day. It's lovely to come and present your book as an author, right? Like, people want to read your book, they want to know what it's about, they want to know where it came from, what enticed you to write it, and all of the things. But I think also one of the biggest things for me is to show up as your authentic self when you present your book, right? Because The people who are going to be here listening to you, the people who are going to go on Amazon and write your book, the people who you're going to talk to about your book when you go out into the public to sell it and promote it, they know you as an author, really, already, right? Like, your name's on the book, you wrote this book, and once they read the book, it helps them get to know you. But when you present your book, when you're given a platform and an opportunity to speak about it, tell them who you are, right? Like, don't just talk about just your journey for the book, but kind of the back end a little bit of like, what got me here? What made me want to write? How long have I been wanting to write? You know, have I always been a writer? Did something, you don't have to go into like all your personal business if you don't want to, but did something happen that made you want to write it? Because, and the reason I say that is because, like he said, like Brother Hannibal mentioned, me and Brother Nikita connected on something because he shared something that he went through. Do you mind if I mention it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So he lost his brother, right? And listening to him talk about losing his brother, I was able to connect because I lost my brother. And so in that, everything he was talking about, I had felt. Everything he had been through, I had went through and was still going through. So it helped me connect to him, and it made it easier for me to, one, want to read his book and purchase it. But one, want to read his book. Two, want to know more about him and his journey and what else was to come from him. You know, what other books are you going to write? Because it's one thing to read a book and fall in love with the book, but when you actually know the author and you know their story and you know what they come from, when their fruit comes, you want more of it, right? You're going to buy the first book, they're going to buy your first book, and then they're going to finish that, and they're going to be like, oh my God, it's crazy. They're going to read your book and be ecstatic because they're reading this amazing piece of work, and they're going to think like, man, she went through this, or he went through this, and they were able to do this. It's going to motivate them, and it's going to make them keep watch, right? They're going to subscribe to you. Now they want to know what's coming next. Now they're going to buy the next book and the next book, right? So that's one. And then, sorry, my phone keeps blocking. You know what's crazy is when I do my makeup, my face recognition doesn't recognize me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And I just want to talk to Apple about that. But
maybe it's the glasses. I think it's the glasses.
Read a piece from your book when you present it, right? So when you get to if you're going to be at the Black Authors Summit this year presenting your book, read a piece from it. Even if you're not all the way done and you have it on your phone, just read a piece from it, right? Like, when I came to the Black Authors Summit to present my book for the first time, I don't think I was fully published yet.
You weren't.
No, you weren't.
But I had a piece from my book on my phone. These guys. I had a piece from my book.
We're very strategic.
I had a piece, and listen, the baby was 2-3 weeks old, and they was like, all right, you done pop that baby out, come on, let's get to work. But no, I read a piece from the book, and when I read it, you could hear in the crowd the, whoa, like you could hear the enticement, right? So that kept people hungry. So then when I dropped my book, those same people was like, oh, let me get that. So you're selling your book before it's even done.
Yes.
Even right now as you're writing it, mention it on your social media a little bit, you know? Drop gems, drop little hints, you know? Write a little sentence. As people on Facebook don't think it's a quote, and the whole time it's a piece from your book. And it's going to entice people to want to get it, right? And then come prepared to let people know what to look forward to. If you come to the Black Author Summit and you're done with your first book and you working on something new, let them know that. You got a podcast, let them know that. You got businesses, let them know that. Come ready to promote yourself. Come ready to promote everything that is you and everything that comes with you, so that moving forward, you're not just selling books. You're not coming just to sell your book. Being an author is a beautiful thing, but one thing I've learned over the journey, you're not just selling a book. And then carry that in everywhere you go. Like every interaction I have now, at work, in the grocery store, I carry myself a certain way. Because one, you don't know, when you come to the summit or you come to environments like this, you have no idea who's going to come through that door.
That's right.
So it's small things like being in the grocery store and somebody getting on your nerves, so they just keep hitting you with their basket, or somebody in traffic
You can
is
still
going
address
real
that.
slow. Somebody going real slow in traffic or anything, and you give them the wrong interaction, and then they come to something like the Black Author Summit, and you're trying to sell your book, and you're trying to present this positive, impactful person, and they're like, wait, ain't you? You know what I mean? So you are a walking billboard. Stepping into something like this, you are a walking billboard. You are promoting yourself all the time, every day. So always put yourself out there to be exactly what your brand is. You are your brand. So come ready to present that, come ready to sell that, and most importantly, over everything, believe that. If you don't believe your brand, nobody else is going to believe it either. Like now, I used to deal with people not believing me, but I realized I didn't believe me. But now that I believe me so much, I deal with people being like, oh, she's stuck up. No, I'm not stuck up. I just believe in what I'm presenting. I believe in my brand. I believe in my story. I believe in my team. And don't be afraid to be a part of a team. You don't have to be in this by yourself. Communicate. Reach out. Get our socials today. Reach out to Brother Hannibal. Reach out to Javion. They're very, all of us are very busy people. But the beautiful thing is that, no, since I've been in this, since, it's been a couple years now, they've never been too busy to assist me, to help me, to mentor me. If you need, even mentorship is something that's available. If you see somebody and you're like, I want to connect, even if it's not one of us, and you just connect with each other. Mentorship helped me get to where I am today. Like, I'm a full-time student right now. I didn't get to tell y'all yet, but I have a 4.0 GPA. I was a student all through grade school and high school that struggled academically. Always struggled academically.
About being an adult.
So to get an email from my student advisor that I qualify for honors, and I have to give that, I applaud myself, thank to the Lord first, but I have to give that to my mentorship. Because I got around great people who were doing great things. Environment is everything. Your personal relationships, your personal friendships. If you're trying to get fruit right now, you on the grind trying to really make something happen in your life, especially putting something together that you're about to put in the world that's going to be here forever. Books are here forever, right? You about to do that, there are going to be challenges that are getting ready to come up against you. There's going to be adversity. There's going to be a lot of people trying to stop it from happening. Sometimes they're not stopping it from happening, ain't always trying to speak negative. It's noticing that you're working on your book and trying to get you to go do something else.
Yes.
I said that every day from this time to this time I write. Well, who's the person that's always interrupting your writing time? From this time to on this day, I dedicated to my studies. Well, who's the person that's always trying to disrupt your studies? Start focusing on those things and moving those things out the way, and I promise you, make it easier for you. I made it hard for myself. I had a lot of people around me that I needed to get away from me. I wouldn't have a 4.0. Now my sister tell you now I don't hang out with, I had a bunch of friends. I was that girl.
Come on.
Now, I don't go nowhere. I go to work, I go to church, I go home. I spend time with my kids, I spend time with my sisters, and the conversations I have are always impactful. Always. I'm always talking to people who are striving for greatness because I'm striving for greatness. And I want my kids to strive for greatness. So I have to be surrounded by people who believe in greatness. Because if we're always working towards it, not only are we always going to encourage each other, but we're going to hold each other accountable. When I started slipping, like I said, Hannibal gave me a second. But then after a while, he was like, yo, hey, homie. Ain't heard from you. What's up on that movie Friday? Where you been? But it was accountability, and I needed that to keep going, right? And Javion too, like after a while, he'd be like, hey, well, didn't we say we was going to do, what's up? You know? They're going to allow you enough time to respect your space, but eventually they're going to be like, all right, what's happening? What we doing? But you need that. Because sometimes we'll start believing. There's no telling what's going on. So you need people who are going to push you to get done what you said you're going to get done and hold you to your word. So like I said, don't be afraid to connect, believe in your brand, and just come authentically yourself. Don't try to show up as nobody else. Don't put too much thought into it. Authentically be you and sell you, and it'll all work out. That's all I got for y'all.
Now don't leave yet. I gotta keep you up there. First, I don't know if you know that we was tag teaming the whole time that process. When you won't respond to me, JP, I hit her up. Like she ain't responding, we had to come back around. All right, now we gonna get her here. But everybody that's listening, I hope you felt and I don't want to say enjoy, because I enjoyed it, but felt her words, the impact of her words. She knows this, but she may not remember this. So I'm putting it out there, so she might give you guys a facial expression in the process. But I'm hoping you all are accepting and excited about it. She will be the person emceeing and hosting you guys' graduation / author summit in August. So this is going to be, oh, you don't remember that? That's okay. It's in the contract. We talked about it, you know. Fine. But if you see the spirit, the impact, she's going to be the one leading you guys through that finish line in August. And this is going to be the person who's going to be helping, encouraging. So when you're sitting in these chairs and you may be dealing with some fear, some nervousness, or some concerns, I'm not ready. She's going to be the one, you know, hyping you up outside of us, but she's gonna be the one. No, you got this. You ready? And if you ain't ready, too bad. I'm still calling you up to the front, and you're gonna be ready when that time comes. So this is what you're getting, and thank you, Simone. One, first and foremost, thank you. And to see and watch you grow is so exciting, so amazing. And I pray that God continues to cover you, watch over you, and keep you on this path. I call it. It sounds like you're in your receiving season.
Amen.
Enjoy your receiving and all the blessings that come with it. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
She is the original.
Yes.
She said she came to the summit, and exactly a year later, she published her first book. And I'm actually looking at it. June 2024 is when she published it, and finished 2 children's books since then. Which, send me them books.
Hey, come on. Before we bring up our keynote, it's cool kind of saying that.
Oh, Hannibal.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, y'all. I skipped something. From Destruction to Destiny is my published book. It's on Amazon. You can get it now. Book 2 will be coming sometime soon. But it's From Destruction to Destiny. You can get it on Amazon.
And it is I gotta plug this one more time. I've never been into reading non-fiction books or fiction books. Never. Wasn't into it. I'm the type like, I'd rather watch the show, I'd rather watch the movie.
Yep. Put me on a
She
series.
gave me her book and I'm reading that. I'm just all into it. I'm in there wishing certain characters died. I can't I can't stand this deal. I'm just all into it. So it is a wonderful book. Definitely check it out. Go to Amazon and get it. It's worth the read. It's truly inspiring too.
And it's the first book to a 3-book trilogy, so don't let the shortness of it bother you, because it's 3 books.
Can you speak on that real quick?
The trilogy?
No,
yeah.
Yeah, you already know what I'm. Yeah, go ahead. Come on back up. Come back up. Don't have them turn into the left like that.
Can you say the name again?
From Destruction to Destiny.
Okay.
So first the book was based, it's about a young girl named Tiana, and it's literally her journey from destruction to destiny, right? So what Hannibal was talking about is when I was writing it, I started to get stressed out because I'm like, I just kept writing, and there was just a lot happening at the time. And Hannibal was like, well, you don't have to write everything right now, right? Like, what if it's not one book? What if it's supposed to be more to it? What if, and it's literally a journey. And there was a lot of dialogue that he and I had at the time, but then I got to a space where I was like, he's right. Like, what if the first book basically is just destruction? Her, I don't want to give it away, but
give him a glimpse.
I'm already sold. Go ahead.
So Tiana, it's from destruction to destiny. Some of it is based on things that have actually taken place in my life. Some of it is for the imagination. You gotta figure out. But instead of me trying to put her whole journey from destruction to destiny in one book after mentorship, I just put her destruction in book 1. Her being what her childhood was like, what she went through, what was the reason why she was the way she was, right? What led to that. So the book starts in one area of her life and it kicks all the way back to like, okay, this is where she's at, but this is what happened that got her there, right? And so that's what happened when I ended up breaking it down into a 3-book trilogy, because it was supposed to be one book at first. And so now book 1 is destruction. And now I get to take my readers on a journey. And the original title was
Don't have me lying. Don't look at me like that. Don't have me lying.
Journey. What was the original, JB? Remember? The original title wasn't From Destruction to Destiny.
No.
I think it was Journey to Destiny. And then over time, again, after deciding to make a 3-book trilogy, came From Destruction to Destiny. So that's what I mean. Like, you might even start writing, and it may not even end how you planned it in the beginning. And when I first came to the Black Authors Summit, and JB, I was like, don't be editing, don't be doing all that, like, just write. And at first I was like, he's crazy. Like, what are you talking about? It's true. Because a lot of what I started with, some of it got chopped. Some of it didn't even make book 1. Some of it I saved for book 2. There are chapters I pulled out. The title changed. After I sent it to edit it to JB, and we ended up shifting the whole cover, the cover didn't even end up, and then we added a subtitle.
She was putting me to work.
What do you think about this? So it was From Destruction to Destiny, but by the time it was published, it was From Destruction to Destiny Concrete Rose. So that's what I mean. Like, it's literally going to be a journey, y'all. And whatever is falling on you as you're writing, receive it. You know, write it down real quick, like, okay? Because you might get to the end and decide that original title don't even fit no more. This fits better. Or over your journey to putting it together, it starts to make more sense as to why you have a different title now or a different cover, or, you know what I mean? So, yeah. For sure.
What if I want to change, or I have diaries that I've kept, like stacks that I've kept over the journey of course of life.
Yep.
What if I wanted to turn those into like memoirs? What would be the easiest process to take it from written to more of a typed book?
I like this. You can
So
I?
it's written.
Do you have input or anything?
Yeah. First, how neat is your handwriting? Because with technology, you can literally, there's an app, the notes app that comes with your phone, where you can just put it over your phone and it'll just transcribe everything for you. Yeah. So outside of that, maybe scanning it on a computer maybe, or I mean you might have to just type it like
That's
that.
on Gmail too. You can scan documents for free in your Google accounts.
Is that what the question was?
Or you
She said how to turn it from written.
Yeah.
Is that what you were asking? I got something else out of that question.
you can also just speak to text. So read your diary out loud and let it transcribe as that way. Now, if you're speaking on more of, that's from one aspect, but just to touch on this, just because I want to make sure that I do, because I'm kind of hearing it that way as well. If you're speaking on how do I take it from just my diary to something that can be read and received.
That's what I was doing. Yes.
It's so many ways you could do that. You could leave it as your diary and literally just leave it as a memoir, or you could create dialogue. You could literally create it to where you have, this is just an idea that just fell on me, use it if you want to. You have a first name, do you have a middle name? So do it that way. Write pieces of it as dialogue. This is what what's your first name? Cambria. What's your middle name? Janice. Have you ever read a script?
Cam and Janice are having a conversation.
Cam said this, Janice responded. Cam asked Janice this, Janice responded. That kind of thing.
It can even be
So
like
that's
the
one
inner
way you can
child
do it.
finally meeting you where you are now.
That's definitely.
I got you.
You can also, because what your original question, you wanted to know how to basically take it from written form to a physical book.
Book, like what would the story be just like? Like basically, I do want to know like how it came.
You ready for me? Okay. It's in essence a lot easier than you think. I will recommend this. Go back to the reading room and start categorizing. This reminds me of this. This is when I was going through, excuse the term I'm gonna use. This is when I was going through depression. These go here. This is when I was at my happiest. These go here. This is when I might have been going through aspects with family dynamics. This goes here. Now those become your chapters, and then within it, you want to set up sections within each chapter. Now you broke them down. There goes your diary. So it's not always going to be in chronological order, but it may bounce back and forth because that's how life is. Each day, each moment, we have different, we go up and down throughout the day. So that's how you may write it. And then my recommendation would be like that, like when you look at a wave, like a music wave or so, maybe have it where you're taking us on this, we talked about this I think last month, take us on that journey of the ups and downs through life. You might have been happy in this chapter, but there may be parts in this chapter where there may be some sadness. I was having a great day and then I got bad news that this happened. Man, this really hurt me. But then my mom or my cousin came a couple days later. This was my favorite uncle. And then he took me to get pizza at my favorite pizza place. I broke down, but I was so happy at the same time. That might have been in your diary right there. That might be in the happy side. Or that might be the transition to the sad side of your journey. You got transitional statements. That might be the transitional part to the next chapter. So
This is my favorite uncle. I can never imagine being without him. Boom. This is what was that kind of thing. So also, you can end every chapter, every section, depression, love, whatever the chapter is, end it with something from you now. speaking to all of that. This was my depression season. Put it all in there at the end of the chapter. This is how I feel about this now. Hopefully that's when you can speak to your reader. This is what I did to overcome this. This is what this felt like. This is what fed this. You can use this moving forward. Now you can not only give them yourself and introduce yourself, you give them a tool.
We call those plans of actions.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Bars. Before we bring up the next person, I know Cam. No, please, no, please.
So going back to the KDP thing, so if you are selling something on your personal website, how does that,
If you
you
want to
know,
keep
like
it on there,
you
that's
said the
perfectly fine too.
60/40, but Amazon's printing your book, how does that work?
You buy author copies.
Yes.
Oh,
Hold on.
okay.
So right
Oh, okay, I get it.
right here. Next spot.
You gotta go all the way back. Oh,
No,
okay.
no, that's here, that's fine.
You know, it's
Yep,
okay.
right here.
You did like a 50 books, you know, you have them print out
So-
50 books and then
We'll do it real quick, and then
The ordering process is just like
It's
if
real
you buy
simple.
anything on Amazon.
yeah, anything at a wholesale price. So then I can choose, like you do up to 99 copies. If I wanted to do, let's say, 25 for the sake of it, I would choose my market.com, add to cart. It'll shoot over to my business one. I'll sign in, but I don't feel like doing all that right now because I don't remember my password. But here we go. So subtotal will be $21.50 plus the shipping. $121.50 plus the shipping for 25 books. And then that's how you will, and then it'll shoot over to our proceed for the sake of it. And it's, you see, estimate delivery will be June 15th, between June 15th and June 19th.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's
it's always good to just keep it on Amazon because people want to buy your book and who you didn't market to at all.
Exactly.
You know, so have your website, of course. Send people there, but get those random orders. Or if you run out of copies and you're just out and somebody need a copy, you know, just send them on some one-off situation. You can send them to Amazon.
And do you guys always do like an ebook copy of?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. That's why I was going to show that part in
100%.
as well.
I don't have an ebook copy yet, but I'm in for that.
Okay,
Well, technically she does,
All three,
but
I
yes.
got y'all with the,
Yes.
with the Kindle.
But like, if you look here, it says, you know, normal price is gonna be $15.50 for the standard shipping. It'll get here between the 15th and the 19th. But for extra $34.99, it can get here between the 14th and the 18th. I'm not taking that chance. I'm not paying that. But for 25 books, it hit me for $150. That's actually not bad, you know. So that's what you're looking at. I wanted to hit the digital real quick. If you may, I know. What
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. Yeah.
No. You know, this is what this is for.
Exactly.
What this is for. So this is the print. This is the ebook. With the ebook, you're just scrapping all the blank pages that you're trying to force over. So you're kind of letting it roll and it just turns over to the next page. So each one I do, I always do a ebook for it. The only one I didn't, I did do it for the workbook as well. And then I have the 5 steps to self-publishing. So we made sure everybody that's been in the class got a copy of that as well. And then I did a couple photo books, photo magazines as well from some of my travels. And then I also made those digital as well. So yes, it's really simple because when you're writing it anyway, it's already digital. Now you're just making the adjustments on for it to be a physical or for it to be digital. So pretty simple steps from there. And as you all know, Simone mentioned her book, From Destruction to Destiny, Concrete Roads. It is on Amazon as well. So if you go to Amazon, you can find that one. But moving forward in today's class, I'm excited to bring up to us our keynote instructor. Man, I was a hot man, like my guy, you know, one of my dear brothers, who is, man, like multifaceted. You know, a lot of times during the classes, you'll see him in the back. You may not pay attention to him in the back, and then out of nowhere, he'll just jump in and drop a gem, and then fall right back to the back. You know, he covers down in many areas. We would not be moving the way we move without our dear brother. And I'm not going to go too much to his background. I'll allow him to do that. but you have the right person right now to discuss the impact of speaking, the public marketing, how to go about doing this. And I will tell you, if you have little ink left in your pen, go get you a new one. If you haven't charged up your laptop or your devices, make sure they're on a charger. Take as many notes as possible. Be ready to implement what he brings to the table. You all help me bring to the front our dear brother Nakia to take us further along.
Yeah, I bowed out since we got him. I said, from the gate, I ain't got nothing to do with today. This is my off day. He got this.
Peace and blessings, everyone. How's everybody doing?
You good?
No, yeah, I'm good. I got a clicker.
How are you?
Oh, wait. Say that again. Peace and blessings, everyone. How's everybody doing? Good.
How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Just glad to be in front of you all to help you with the process of being able to do exactly what I'm doing now, which is standing in front of people and being able to get your message out. Okay? That being said, today I want to make sure that we do quite a few things. We're going to cover the piece of connecting. Very important element to anything that you're going to be doing when it comes to speaking is being able to connect. We'll talk about the connection in depth as well in just a second. I want to talk about developing a powerful message as well. Simone mentioned a few gems that I'm going to also pick up and carry on as we get down the road around connecting with a powerful message. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. And then we'll talk about what goes into an effective presentation. So hopefully my presentation today is going to be effective for you and apply a lot of the principles that I'm asking for you all to include if you're using an actual presentation when it comes to what you're delivering. Okay, that may not always be the case, but if you are, this will be some tips that will help you to be able to do so. Okay. That being said, before we get started, I want to do one thing for everyone. If you've got pen and paper, or if you have your computer, feel free to use that as well. But I want you to write down one thing that you'd like to gain from today's session. One thing that you want to gain from today's session. And also, I have a pre-assessment. It's very, very short. Everyone has a digital device, right? Yeah. Cell phone? Yeah. Everyone knows how to use QR code? But I have to ask these questions. I have to ask these questions just to make sure. I don't want to make an assumption, right? I have to know my audience, okay?
How can you explain it?
Yes, I can.
I'm playing.
Pull out that camera, point, let it give you that link at the bottom, and then click. It's very short, but it's just going to give me an idea of where you are at the beginning of this, and then we'll come back at the end as a short little assessment to cover where you are at the end.
We students right now.
Yes.
It's write down what we want to gain and then do the thing here. Okay.
Yeah. Write down what you want to gain on the note or in your computers, and then do the assessment. And notice that it is random, so you don't have to put in no email addresses, none of that. I like to keep it that way, just to allow people to be open and honest. Just what you want to gain from today.
Okay.
All right, I think most of everyone is wrapping up or finishing. So while we do that, while you continue to finish up, let me give you a quick introduction about who I am and what I do. And the brother, he spoke to it, but it's very hard. So I'm Brother Nakia. I call myself brother because I consider myself a brother to everyone. I'm a father. I'm a son. And I'm a little bit of everything. And what I mean when I say that is in this season, I'm a photographer and videographer. That's what I'm specializing in this particular season. As Simone mentioned, I went through some traumatic things in life, but through those traumatic experiences, that's what really led me into expressing myself through written word. It really started with a lot of different posts and motivational things that I would put online. But lo and behold, that turned into a full-blown on book. And I've been blessed just recently to have Brother Javion to re-edit and republish that particular book that Sister Simone was speaking about. It's called From Poverty to Prosperity, The Truth of the Wealth of God's Love. And that book itself is it's a little bit about some of my journey in life. Some of the things that I went through. A lot of people don't know this, but I grew up without running water till about the age of 5 or so. And so coming from extreme poverty to being where I am today, that's nothing but God's hand on my life. And so I wanted to be able to express that to people in the form of teaching them about what change is, because life is constantly changing around you. If you haven't experienced that, I don't know what planet you're living on, but change is constant. But it talks about how to adapt to that change. It talks about growth as well. So how do you grow through your journey in life? As mentioned earlier, Brother Hannibal mentioned the fact that, this roller coasters, ups and downs that happen even in your day-to-day. But the book is designed to help you with being able to overcome those challenges if you have the aspiration to be able to do so, which all of us have that ability. And more recently, I got into a new book. Well, actually, I'm working on 4 books right now. I've got 2 of them that are technically finished, all the way finished, with the exception of the editing and all those final things.
Well, the editing is already done.
No, the editing is done on one of those books. So, and I'll give a little snippet out of that particular book today. But it's called "Built on Broken Promises: Race, Rebellion, and the Immigrant Lie of America."
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, you was bear witness what he was saying just now.
So that particular book is it's a very powerful message that it really focuses on some truths that we know but we don't know, and so it exposes you to some knowledge that you have probably been taught a little bit about, but I take it in depth. I also break down some of the things that are currently going on right now in the world that expose the hypocrisy. Yep, there we go. So there's the cover right there. So notice the Liberty Bell is strategically placed on there as well. The Liberty Bell it was broken. For those that know, Liberty Bell was broken. And so that's, perfect title for that. Brother Javion on the design, by the way.
I love it. It's really good.
So, what else? So, let me talk about why I feel that, let's just say why people have qualified me to be able to speak to this. So, for 18 and a half years, I spent my time as a global consultant of training and delivery, working for one of the largest wireless carriers in the world. And that allowed me the opportunity to be able to travel the world and to be able to do what I'm doing today, which is to speak to different people in different walks of life throughout the world. And so I say that humbly because I was blessed with that opportunity. It wasn't something that I did on my own. It was something that God gave me the gift to be able to do so. And so I'm just honored to be in front of you to be able to pass some of the learning lessons that I had along that journey. So today, these are some of the things that you will learn by the end of this workshop. So what does it mean to connect? Well, we talked a little bit about that earlier, but I'm going to dive deep into what it means to connect. So that way you understand how to be able to get your message to the audience that you're connecting with. Okay? How to develop a powerful message. So I will focus my area, or a lot of my attention on that, because that's why people are there for. They're there to be able to hear your message, for you to get your message out there. And so there's a strategic way in which you can be able to shape and form your message to be able to be received by the audience. How to make an effective presentation. So this piece, again, it may not always apply, right? But I want to make sure you at least have the skills. You can walk away with the information. So that way, just in case you have the ability to use a presentation, you can implement some of these things that we're going to talk about. So I highly recommend that you take notes as well. Some people are the auditory type of learners where they can hear something and it goes right into their brain and they've got it there. But if you're like me, I keep a few notes with me, okay? All right? And then, so we'll talk about putting some of these things into practice today as well. So I want to start with this piece, which is connecting with yourself. Huge, important part of any writing is always connecting with yourself. You need to know yourself in order to be able to connect with the message. So we start there with you. It's all about you. Your message starts with you. It's all about your passion, authenticity. So it's all about what you as a person believe in. When you think about your writings are a reflection of who you are in most cases. Now, it could be that you're writing something that's fiction, but even in all fiction, there's still a little bit of truth that's sprinkled into that. So the author has to be connected with who they are in order for them to paint the picture of the message that they're trying to deliver. Okay? staying true to your integrity. This is a huge part of what you're doing when it comes to your speaking. People who are sitting in your audience will not believe a lie. They'll pick up on it. So it's important that you are true to the core of your integrity. True to who you are. That helps the audience to be able to relate to you, no matter what that is. Each one of us is unique and different in our own way. And that's perfectly okay. That's what gains you the credibility with your audience. Okay? So stay true to that. Always stay true to that. Here's another piece that it may not always apply, especially if your book, depending on the genre that it's in. But research is always a good thing. Okay? When it comes to connecting with yourself, educate yourself on things that you want to be able to present to your audience. For the book that I was telling you about, right? Built on Broken Promises. There's a ton of research in there. I think, what did I have, about 5 works cited pages, I think?
Yeah, I seriously think it was way more.
So, there were a bunch of citations. So what I did, I had a baseline of the knowledge and information that I wanted to present. But I wanted to make sure that it also was backed up by facts and things that other people have also put in books. And so I made sure to do my own research to make sure that I'm credible about what I'm speaking with when I'm speaking to people. Okay? So that's another important element when it comes to connecting with yourself. The more research that you can bring in, the more confident you come across when you're speaking to people. All right? Now, one of the questions from the survey talked about, the level of nerves or your level of comfortability with being able to stand in front of people and speak. Let's just say every single time that you stand up in front of someone and you're getting ready to speak, you're going to get a little bit nervous. Okay? And that's okay. It's all about how you use those nerves. All right? But that's also going back to knowing yourself. Okay?
Again,
Yes.
14 works cited pages.
Was that it? Oh, I said 5, huh?
It was only 14.
My bad.
That's it, just 14.
5 and 14 is
Yeah, big difference.
Well, to be fair, formatting has something to do with
Right, because they're just double spaced, huh?
You know.
Yeah, but 1 and 4 is 5.
That's true.
There you go.
I'm a
There you
math
go.
guy.
There you go.
You got to make it work. Make it work. All right. But I say that to say that it's important. It builds credibility. Builds your credibility with your audience, the people that you're trying to connect to. Okay. And then keep your message clear. Don't make it overly complicated. Remember, if you're someone that's sitting in the audience listening to you, you want to make sure that it connects with everyone that's sitting there in that audience. Okay? Which goes back to this. Okay? Whoops. Audience. Okay? Your audience is the most important part of your speech. It's not about you. It's about the audience. You want them to be able to receive the message that you're providing to them. So in order for you to do that, it's important that you capture their attention within the first 8 seconds. All right, why do you think I say 8 seconds there? That's right. Everyone, especially in these days and times, we've always constantly have this little thing in front of our hands, right? And that's only decreased the amount of attention span that we have. So yeah, on average, the average attention span is 7.8 seconds right now at this time. Come back about a month later, it's going down, down, and down. Okay? There's a couple of reasons behind that, but you want to make sure you capture their attention within those first 8 seconds. So we'll talk a little bit later on about your opening and your closing. Your opening has to be powerful. That's to grab the audience attention. Once you've got their attention, guess what?
Keep it.
You got to keep it, maintain it. All right? So 8 seconds is the general rule. Research about your audience. So remember, we talked about research for yourself, right? That's about building your confidence, building your ability to stand in front of people and to know what you're speaking about, right? But it's also important that you research your audience. Why? Why do you all think it's important to know your audience?
Connection.
Say it again.
Connecting. Being able to connect with them deeper.
Okay, all right. Give me an example of that.
Just knowing their demographics.
Knowing what they're interested, what's going to capture their attention in that 8 seconds. You know, like if I'm talking about herbs, I'm not going to come in and talk about anything else. You know, I'm going to tell a story, a fact, or something that really, you know, that they're interested in.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, if I'm talking about herbs, I'm not going to come in and speak to you about cars, right?
Yeah.
Okay, does that make sense?
When I think about it, like, I wouldn't go up to a crowd that doesn't fit my demographic and talk about slavery or something like that. So knowing how your message may land about certain demographics, whether it's race, education, earning, you know, the money that people post on Twitter, like just knowing who you're talking to and how.
Yeah, demographics is a huge part of it, right? That even goes with your book too. Come on. I see you. No, come on.
That's what came to my mind was, you know, you're talking to a group of vegans, and you come here talking about how that T-bone steak tastes like
Tough crowd.
What? You know, so being mindful, even if you don't know your whole audience, because we're in such a multicultural environment nowadays, finding that way in to at least get everybody's attention, and then you can navigate through it.
Yeah, so for example, right, if you're speaking at a corporate engagement, right, it's important that you at least understand a little bit about the corporation. So maybe go to their website. Check the About You page. Every corporation has an About You page.
Mission statement.
Yeah, check the mission statement. Make sure you're in alignment, because in order for you to be able to grab their attention and keep it, this piece right here is going to help you to do so. Knowing who they are. Or at least having an idea before you walk into that room. Okay. Now, it just so happens each one of you is an author or an inspiring author, right? So it's easy for us, especially being in that particular vein, to be able to connect with you all today. So we know the topics that we're speaking about, but that may not always be the case. Okay. You may be called to speak to a group of church believers. So if you're called to speak to that audience, you need to know you probably need to get something in there about faith, about religion, something like that. That probably needs to be a part of your message. Okay? You need to tailor your speak or your message to the audience that you're delivering to. All right? Things to avoid when speaking to them. This goes a little bit about earlier when we talked about the fact that you don't want your message to be overly complicated. Okay? But you want to avoid jargon.
Yes.
Okay? If you are having an engagement and you're speaking to an audience, right? And you're speaking about your book, and you've got some acronyms that are in your book that you use, break those acronyms down first before you use it as an acronym.
Yes.
Okay? Because if I go up there and tell you about the CDC, and nobody really knows what that means or what I'm talking about.
Crips dividing and conquering.
Right. Does it make sense? So you want to avoid jargon. There are certain things in certain communities that people understand. Ashe?
Ashe.
But some communities don't understand that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I may not use that with certain communities. That's jargon, considered to be jargon, okay? Complicated language as well. So there could be a concept that you are speaking about that could be overly complicated. Again, you don't want to convolute the message. When people receive something that's overly complicated, guess what they do?
Check out.
They shut down.
All right? Okay. Engage. So this, you have to, this is a tricky thing, okay? When it comes to engagement, it's very tricky because you will get them talking, okay? And if you're in a large audience and you got multiple people talking,
Yes.
that's hard to manage as a speaker,
Yes.
okay? So you may want to change your questions. Maybe your questions are yes or no questions as opposed to open-ended questions. Now, we're in a small forum, right? So the questions that I've been asking you all have been open questions to get you guys to talk to me, to flow. Okay? So again, it goes back to knowing your audience. You have to know what room you're walking into. If I'm walking into a large room where I'm speaking to 300 or 400 people, my questions are going to be almost all closed. In other words, they're going to be yes or no, this color or that color. I'm going to so I can predict what the answer is going to be, and it doesn't take a long time for them to explain to me. Okay? Yes, sir.
With that being said, with a larger crowd, larger audience, is that why, or would that be the time where you set up, like you had the Post-it notes, or they have the mic to the side and they create the line so you can do your close-ended questions, and then at the end you open it up for them to come open and pose questions to you?
100%. Absolutely. That's a very good point, right? There is a time and a place for questions as well, right? When you're speaking, you want to be the one that's controlling the flow of the information.
Yes.
All right? So you may hold off your questions to the end. You may even say that at the beginning, hey, there's a lot of information that we're going to cover today. To make sure that we preserve the amount of time that's needed, we will hold off all questions to the end. Okay? Or once you finish, open it up. Okay, now that we've finished discussing this book, what questions? Let's open it up for questions. Or I'll take 3 questions today. Depending on the time, right? You have to consider the time in which you're given to speak. All right? Okay? So engagement. I put open-ended questions there because open-ended questions allow you to be able to get more from the audience. And the more you can get them bought in, the more you keep them grasp their attention.
Yes.
Okay? And then relatable examples, all right? So I'm going to open this up for you all. What would be a relatable example to what we're talking about today?
Journey to how you started, how you decided you wanted to write your book, and how you ended.
All right, perfect. So what started my journey was that, as I was mentioning or Simone was mentioning earlier, I lost my brother in a car wreck. And it was that point that really just started me to be able to change my life for the better. Because I realized that my brother was one of those people that was just too good to be in this world. And I feel like that's the reason why he was taken from us early, was because he was needed for a higher purpose. So that started me to change my behavior and how I acted. See, for me, my younger brother was like my first child. Because we were 5 years apart. And to almost everywhere I went, my younger brother was there with me. Even when I joined the football team, he became the water boy. You know? And so in his passing, in the painful moment of his transition, I found what it was to come back to the place of love. Those were some of the first moments in which I found that my family even expressed that they loved us out loud. See, we always knew it. It was something that was implied. We knew that we loved each other, but it wasn't expressed. So that's what got me into my journey of writing. Okay? Relatable examples. That's what you want. You want to have something that's relatable to the audience, to be able to grasp their attention and keep them. Okay? So that's about your audience. Now, connecting with your message. So you've connected with yourself, right? Your authenticity, who you really are, integrity. Okay? Even the research that goes into building your confidence. You connected with your audience, right? Being able to know who they are, researching them, knowing when to use certain things when it comes to the audience. Well, it's important that now you connect the dots between yourself, your audience, and the message that you're getting ready to deliver to them. Okay? So here's what you want to find. You want to find something that you're extremely passionate about. For me, it was my childhood, my life, the journey that I've been through. That's what helped me to be able to understand what my passions were. I didn't know this until I became an older man. But, you know, sometimes life takes you on that journey. And you find that. Also, you want to think about this as well. So when it comes to a problem, right? For what I'm delivering, is there a particular problem that I need to solve with people? Why would they even want to listen to me? For me, it was to understand change and growth. Don't say it again.
I was wondering if you were asking because it was a long pause there. So I was about to engage.
Jump in. No, jump in. Jump in. Come on. This is open floor.
Well, when you say why, like when you tell your story, like it happened Simone, because y'all had a connection piece. If I had something to share, somebody out in the audience might be able to connect with that. As long as you're not so way off base, like we said, you're not talking to vegans about the tomahawk steak, then somebody in the audience should be able to connect, because at this point in our lives, we've all experienced loss, we've all experienced problems. If you haven't, I need to know what you're doing, because I would like to.
Right, tell me, right.
So yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so again, as I mentioned to you, right, the book itself is about the change, the challenges that go on in life, right, the changes that happen in life, and growth. And so that really was the propelling part of what I wanted to solve for. I wanted to help people understand that no matter what goes on in life, you can still journey on. Simone, you had something?
No, just to piggyback on what she was saying a little bit.
Vegetarian.
That connection part is just so important, because you were saying it right now. I completely forgot. I don't know if you remember, but I forgot that our brothers are tattooed also in the same space on our bodies. So that's how deep that connection was. And had he left that out, you know what I mean? So it was just him talking about how he felt, but even then the simple gesture of him being like, as he's talking, I'm sitting there like, whoa. Like, and we both got our brothers tattooed on the same, you know what I mean? So it only
makes it real. Yeah, makes it real. Makes it real. So those examples are always good, right? Okay, change, right? What change am I asking people to make, right? So when you're speaking, there's always typically a goal to why you're speaking, right? Now, in this particular forum, right, we're talking about being able to help people to understand our book, right? And ideally, you want people to read your book, okay? So that being said, what's in your book? Is it about behaviors, or is it about the mindset that you want people to change? For me, I had a combination in my very first book that I published. There was a combination in there. Some of the earlier chapters were around the mindset. Well, as I continued to develop and work on the mindset, that led to a change in your behavior. So it was a combination for me. But you want to consider that. You want to consider what are you asking people to do as a result of your speech that you're delivering? Okay? Are you asking them to have a call to action to go grab your book? We've heard a few of those earlier today. Okay? We heard a call to action around Javion using his publishing company to edit. Okay? So keep those things in mind. And then impact. So by you standing up there, you want to have some type of impact on people, right? Simone talked a little bit about the impact that, just the journey of when she came to the Author Summit and how that really propelled and helped her to get back on track with getting her book out there. She already knew she had it in her. It was there. Like the ideas and the thoughts were already there. But she left feeling challenged. And that's what got her down there. So that impact, you want to think about the impact. What's the result if people either change their mindset or change their behaviors? All right? Okay, so any questions about connection? So we talked about connecting with yourself, right? Your authentic, true, real self. Connecting with your audience. And then connecting with your message.
Not really a question, but if I can add on.
Please.
As well. You brought behaviors, and we talked about problem solving. But I wanted to add into it studying the person's or your audience body language and making eye contact.
Ooh, talk to me.
You might be hitting a subject, addressing something, and you'll see them kind of shifting. Like, oh, I might be hitting a point right here. Or you might be looking at them in their eyes and they're so engaged that it's like you're supposed to be moving on, but I might need to stay on this a little bit longer. And if you ever think about getting a massage, they find that knot. They might have to work it a little bit, So just identifying things like that as as we're building up the confidence when we're speaking. If we notice, like, oh man, hold on, or like Simone may mention, just that gesture alone made her reflect on it. But let's say she looked at hers at the same time, right after he did that, and he recognized it, he might have stayed on that tattoo area a little bit longer. And like, man, but my brother, And man, if anybody else lost somebody close to them, anybody else got touched, now you see is engaging you even more.
Yeah.
Well, I got you.
Yeah.
We can roll now. I'm gonna guide you where I'm gonna take you where I want to take you.
Very important fact is the you being able to gauge as well. So as you're working the audience, and as you notice, I'm panning back and forward throughout. That's how you work your crowd, right? But it's also you being an observer of the reactions that you're getting from people throughout the audience as well. Because to his point, if there's something that really stands out to someone, you may hammer it home just a little bit longer just to make sure that you massage that particular point into your audience, right? So those are things to be aware of. Again, for what we're talking about today, this takes practice. What he's talking about takes practice. I didn't get here my first time I stood up in front of somebody, just so you know, okay? So I don't expect for you guys the very first time that you stand in front of someone to know all of these things, but please take notes of these things because as you do it more and more, right? Everyone's going to have successful books in here. I have that 100% without a doubt, okay? So as you pick up your speaking gigs or as you're talking with people out in the streets or as people are coming to you, you are going to have an opportunity to practice. So just pick up on the little things that are working for you. Also, be a critic of your own self and know the things that are not working. Because it may be that you said something and the audience kind of turned them off, and now you got to move.
Yes.
You got to pivot just a little bit. Okay?
Yes.
All right? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We do it all the time. If you think about conversations you have with your friends, whether on the phone or in person or environments you're in, you might have said something, your friend, girl, that was the response. And what happened? And then you got excited, you started engaging more in it. So we do it. We already do it. I know y'all like the girl part right there. I grew up with sisters, you know. So certain things I got a chance to learn early on. But we already do it. Now we're saying take what you already know and we bring it to this platform here now to apply it.
Yep.
And I'm going to add to that. We talked about knowing your audience. What did he just do? He understand that it's 99.9% women in here.
Right,
That's
exactly.
Why he girl, if this all men, he wouldn't have said that.
No.
I really looked at that. I was like, he did that because most of us.
Yes. Again, that goes back to knowing your audience. Okay? So, okay, good. Anything else? Any other questions though before we go to before we move on? This is good. Okay.
It just sounds like a successful message is you engaging with
your people. Yes.
That we're also afraid to really dive deep into.
Yes.
And it's our emotions. Everyone goes through problems, and those emotions that we experience through that problem is how we connect in simple conversations and things like that. So it just sounds like a successful message is you connecting with that heart and
100%.
emotion around the story that we're talking about.
All right, we can go home. Let's go. Drop the mic. Let's go home. That's it.
Yeah. Take that and just add charisma to it.
I'm a camera girl.
That's it.
I'm behind the camera.
Yeah, so you like me. Okay, all right, good.
Yeah. Just take that and add some charisma to it. Everything you just said.
Yep.
A little charisma.
That's it.
Boom.
And just remember this. You have something of value that people need to hear.
Yes.
You have something of value that people need to hear.
And so what I'm getting out of this is that in these moments, you have to be willing and brave enough to be vulnerable.
Yes.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
And being mindful of what you're being vulnerable with. Sometimes we tell too much.
Yeah.
Dang, we ain't even know all that.
Right.
But knowing what, but that's what he said. It takes time and practice to learning your parameters.
It's all about balance. Yeah, you got to be well balanced in what you're delivering. Well balanced. Yep. And I would say this too. So to your point, emotions are okay. I've had times where I was speaking for the first time, and the emotions started to
Come on.
And I'm like,
Grown man cry.
That's right.
Let it out.
So that's okay. That's what captivates the audience. They see that you're going through something. That something's weighing heavy. But that's all about the touch. That's the touch that we have. This whole pandemic thing that we went through, it was an attempt at being able to separate us and to keep us from that. But we're starting to realize that that's more important than ever. So we're starting that process of coming back to what our real true nature is. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Anything else?
I'm just excited. That's right.
All right, so the power of an effective message. So here's what you have to realize. You are your message. You are your book. So when you're delivering in front of people, you have to keep that in mind. Okay? People need to hear what you have to say. We talked a little bit about this earlier. Your passion, your energy, your purpose. Now, early in life, I didn't really know what my purpose was. You know, I was doing a lot of different things that didn't necessarily align with what my true purpose was. But I realized later in life, through some of the experiences that I had, that my purpose is people. That's why we're here pouring into, and I've connected with other people that their purpose is people. And I feel like everyone that's in here right now, this is the reason why you want to get your books out there. Because you know that you have something valuable to add to someone else's life. So, connect to your purpose. Whatever that happens to be. Yours is different from mine. That's okay. Whatever that purpose happens to be. Connect with that because it makes it easier for you to stand up in front of people and then deliver your message. Alright? You're not making it up. State your point, support your point, and summarize. This is a very important technique. Okay, this allows for you to keep your message flowing by stating your point, supporting it. So if you need facts to support your point, it goes back to the research we talked about a little bit earlier. Then state a few points, hit them real quick with the punches, and move. Okay. And then summarize. This is another important piece as well to help you with being able to ensure that people are following the flow of what you're delivering. Okay? I did that earlier if you were not paying attention to it. When we talked about the connection, I summarized the 3 pieces of the connection before we went in to this particular piece. Okay? We talked about this earlier. This goes back to you, but integrity builds trust. Now, I'm using this word integrity, but can I get a working definition of what integrity is from someone?
Well, I don't know. When I explained it to my baby, my 8-year-old, I said, "What's integrity, son?" He says, "Doing the right things, even when no one's looking." It's easier to show up in front of people as someone if that's really who you are all the time.
Yeah.
When you don't have to show up and perform, when you show up and you present this positive, impactful, encouraging, loving light of a person, it's easier to do that in front of people if that's who you are when you're alone.
Right. Yeah, that's it. Perfect definition. Doing what is right when no one is looking, right? When no one's around. And the reason why you notice that this deck is heavily laid with integrity. That's because that's one of the things that I'm a student of. I'm a student of integrity. I've been in some situations before in the past where I sacrificed my integrity. And so I knew that I wasn't going to do that again in the future. And so that's why I made that a part of who I am. As a matter of fact, so if you look me up on social media, you'll find me as Nakia Abdul Al-Nazaha El-Shabazz. Well, the Nakia piece, and I didn't find this out till I was about 25 or so, but Nakia means child of God or God's child, right? And then Abdul, so the reason why I adopted Abdul means student of. Al-Nazaha means integrity. And then El-Shabazz, of a people mighty and glorious. So the reason why you'll see integrity sprinkled throughout that is because it's a part of who I am. It's a part of my studies and who I continue to study to be. And then, again, we talked about this as well, clarity over complexity, right? So being very clear in what you're trying to deliver to people, simplifying it to make it easy for people to digest, and not giving them the full-blown on plate and saying go out there and eat the entire plate, right? So make things simple. The more simple you can make it, the more people can receive it, okay? All right, so let's talk a little bit about structuring your speech now, okay? So we've talked about what goes into a powerful message. And again, really the key point there, it's all about you. It's all about knowing yourself. And it's all about delivering that message of who you are, right? Your passions. So let's talk about the structure. Uh-oh, there we go. So, to begin your speech, you want to make sure that you establish a clear objective. Now, notice I've got 4 points that are here. First thing you want is a punchline that grabs people, okay? Now, this could be in the form of a joke. This could be in the form of a quote. This could be in the form of a short passage maybe from your book itself. Okay? This could be a poem that maybe you put in your book. It could be a lot of different things, but you want to make sure that you have a punchline that grabs the audience attention. What was the average attention span earlier?
8 seconds.
All right. And it's getting shorter and shorter. Okay? Thanks to these lovely devices that we have in our hand. That's one of the reasons why I left the industry. Because I saw what it was doing to people. Again, grab their attention within those 8 seconds. Javion always throws in his jokes.
There we go.
Keep in mind, you need to be aware of your audience though. Okay? If you're going in to do a serious speech, sometimes a joke may lighten the mood for you to then dive into that. But make sure that it's appropriate. The joke needs to be appropriate for the people that you're delivering to. Okay?
You hit the head on the head with that. Lighten in the mood, like the lighten in the mood part. And that's why I always do it. Like, you know me, I'm just naturally I don't know how to be serious. You know what I mean? I'm just naturally just a damn comedian. You know? But whenever I'm speaking, I find that it helps me because it lightens the mood. Every time when I first start speaking, I'm always nervous. But when I throw in jokes, it lightens the whole mood. It allows me to just speak further. You know what I mean? Because now I've taken that whole situation and turned it into an atmosphere where it doesn't have to be too serious.
Yeah, it's not tense.
It's no longer tense anymore. So I find that any type of joke, you can talk about yourself, not joke, whatever it is, the crowd typically they're going to laugh at it, especially if it's something silly, you know. So
yeah, remember what I said earlier. No matter how many times you get up and stand in front of an audience, you're going to have a little bit of nervousness. So your punchline is an opportunity for you to get those nerves out of you and to use them for your good. Okay? Nerves is good. Being nervous in front of people is a good thing if you know how to control your nerves. So Javion using the jokes, that's a part of helping him to be able to control that. And now he can dive. Once he's got the audience loose, he can now dive in. Yep. Okay? All right. Up front, you want to explain what's in it for them. So I don't know if you guys remember earlier, I had a slide specifically designed in this deck to tell you by the end of this what you're going to gain. Okay? So that already lets your audience know what your purpose is, why they want to listen to you. So that's what that acronym stands for. I know I said earlier don't use acronyms. What's in it for me? With them. What's in it for me?
I thought that said Wi-Fi.
What's in it for me? Yep. So establish that up front. Even if you may not have to necessarily say it, but you want to have an intended purpose up front so people can understand what the purpose of why they should listen to you. Confidence. Confidence comes with practice. Okay, I'm just going to tell you. The first times that I got up in front of audiences, you know, I didn't necessarily know what confidence was, but I had to build that. So some things that helped me to build my confidence was taking the opportunity of speaking in front of a mirror. Now I can look back at myself and be critical of my own self. So those areas that I was stumbling on, my filler words and things that I was using when I first started speaking, my uhs and ahs. That was my big filler word was And I recorded myself doing a speech, and I did 27 uhs in that little short 2-minute speech. And I was like, geez. So that's what helped me to be aware of it. And then I started to correct it. Okay? So in front of a mirror, record yourself. I know you may not like recording yourself. Look, I hate my voice. So, but please, it will help you to get your message out. Yes, sir.
I just want to share with everybody. I tried the recording of myself, and it works. I found, for me, I'm twitchy. I am very twitchy when I talk. And I recorded like little 2 minutes, max 2 minutes. And I found myself the whole time I was talking. And I was like, dang, am I a tweaker or what? I was questioning who was that person that was speaking.
Yeah.
Seriously,
It helps a ton.
It's true. What he said, recording yourself, do it. Write something down that you're comfortable with, like a poem you like, or a passage of scripture, or whatever. Something you're very, very comfortable with saying, that you said 1,000,000 times. And say it. Record yourself and say it, and watch. You will find yourself either twitching or doing something that's really weird.
And you're like,
you don't realize
what?
You do. Yeah.
Yes.
You can do it in 3 steps. You can record yourself and play it back.
Yep.
And on the first one, just listen to the, or any order. Just listen to the audio. Second one,
hear your voice.
Listen to the audio. Second one, just focus, put it on mute and listen, and just watch the body language. And on the third one, listen to the whole thing. And just analyze that.
I didn't go that far. I just seen that thing and it freaked me out because I was.
You're like, I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
So one thing about me is I like to pace. I like to walk. I like to connect with people. So I had to realize that can also be a distraction if you continue to pace back and forth in front of people like that.
And
so
blocking the screen.
And how fast you talk too. I noticed, like when it's just, that's one thing my mom had to slow down because there's nerves showing up too.
As soon as you're in front of people, you're automatically boom, 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 because you're ready to get it out of the way. You know what I mean? Those nerves are kicking in, and you're speaking 100 miles an hour. And then by the time you look up, I'm done. Okay, good. I'm out of here.
It's only 3 minutes.
Yeah, and you were supposed to speak for 15. Now, as you become more comfortable, the opposite becomes true. As you become more comfortable, you tend to expand the time that you're speaking to people. So, all about balance. Everything, it's all about balance. All about balance. But that's a good point, man, the recording piece. You're going to learn stuff about yourself. Just record yourself.
And remember this when it comes to confidence, and this definitely should help, is that whatever you're going to be speaking about, most likely you know everything there is to know about it, right? You're an expert on that topic. You're probably going to be talking about yourself. You're going to be talking about, in this class, you're going to be talking about your book. So you know what you're talking about. So carry that with you. It'd be hard for me to go up and do a presentation on how to be a surgeon. I'm not a surgeon. So I'll be up there fumbling my words. You know what I mean? All types of, everybody here probably would, right? Because I'm not an expert on that topic. But any of my books, I can just, at any moment, just get up there and speak about it because I know those topics because I wrote about them. It's me, it's who I am. So understand that you are an expert on all of those topics, and that's what's going to help you with that confidence, is knowing that you should know everything that you're going to be talking about.
Yep.
And also, they don't know, right?
Right.
I mean, so if they make a mistake or you say something
you don't have to necessarily correct it in a moment. Yeah.
Because they don't know if you made a mistake, or they don't know you didn't intend to include them. Like, they have no idea. So go into it with that as well. You're not coming into a situation where you're being tested. Like there's a right or wrong way to say or do. They don't know.
Yep.
And I'll piggyback off of that. You can also take an approach with me. I use humor for everything. So even if you do make a mistake, lean into it.
Yeah.
Just a couple weeks ago, I'm up here and I'm doing a song that I had literally wrote the previous day. Literally came up with the song the previous day, and the next day I'm trying to be up here performing it. I messed up. I completely blanked and forgot everything. I just use humor.
Yep. And he used it as an opportunity to reset. He made lemonade out of lemons. Mm-hmm. He sure did.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind, right? Your audience is still looking for something from you, and so you, like she said, you know your message. They don't. So if you make a mistake, it's okay. Just learn from it next time. That's all. Okay. All right. And then, as I mentioned to you before, this is another piece that I'm huge on, as Javion talked about. I've got 14 pages of works cited, but using data. Data helps to captivate people, right? When you share something with them that they didn't know, now all of a sudden they're like, okay, maybe I need to pay a little bit more attention. Okay? So it just keeps them, all right? So, ensure that you have a logical structure. So this is something that you learned in school, just so you know. So this is nothing probably new to you, but you want to make sure that when you're speaking that this is a part of how you deliver your speech. Okay? Introduction. It should be short yet impactful. Okay? It can be thought-provoking. It can be a question. So you can pose a question to them as a challenge maybe. Okay? Keep it to about 3 to 5 main points that support your topic that you're speaking about. That's typical, especially when you're delivering your book, right? You want to maybe highlight 3 areas of the book that are important or that you feel like your audience should really know about, okay? Have a conclusion. Should remind them of why the message is important. So your conclusion should connect to what you said at the very beginning. All right? And this is optional.
No. Never optional. I'm sorry. Keep going.
He said it's not optional. Conclusion. Call to action.
Yes.
It should always reinforce the key point. All right? Always reinforce what you were talking about. Okay? This just ensures that the audience walks away with remembering everything that you just spoke to them about. Okay? Did you know that on average, within an hour of receiving information verbally, you lose roughly 60% of it? A day later, 90%. But if you do these pieces, that retention goes up. People will remember what you said or what you talked about. Okay? Especially if you don't have any notes. If they're not taking notes, this piece right here is very important.
May I?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, big bro. My suggestion or consider with that last part, always give 1 to 3 take homes. Something that can be implemented immediately. Go home, do this. When you do this. Look in the mirror for the next 3 days, do this. For the next 9 days, do this. Next 21 days, do this. That's how so when we talk about the 60% and the 90%,
yep,
it reverses back because we're already giving you something that's being implemented in your life.
That's right.
From it. So that's why I said no.
And another important piece of that is letting them know what happens if they don't do it as well. So the potential repercussions of not doing what your call to action happens to be. Okay? Especially if you're speaking about something that's like community impacting or world impacting. Yeah. You want to make sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. So emphasize takeaways and address why significant. So again, we talked a little bit about this, right? Call to action for the audience. Ensure that they know what happens if they don't act. Okay? You know your topic. Remember we talked about this earlier? And even if you make mistakes, as JVN talked about, you know it. They don't. Okay? And then, I told y'all, use notes whenever possible. Okay? Now, I have a long list of notes that are back there, but I'm not using those right now. So again, I know this topic, right? But I keep something short to keep me on target. So that's also the purpose of why I gave you guys these as well. Because here in just a second, I'm going to challenge you all with applying some of these techniques that we've talked about when it comes to preparing for delivering your speech about your book. Okay? So use notes. Very good friend of yours. And you don't have to, a lot of people think that because you have notes that you're not as confident about the topic. No, it's there to keep you on track.
Yes.
And just know this, when you're in front of an audience, it's okay to pause. Earlier you said that long pause, I thought it was an opportunity for me to jump in. Yes. Yes, the power of the pause is an important piece to your speech.
Yes.
It allows people to, sometimes we'll think things and we'll say things, but people may not receive it right then. So we may have to take a pause to allow it to resonate with them. Selah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Songs.
All right, so delivery with conference. We talked about most of this already. So again, body language. If you notice for me, I keep walking up to the front and kind of leaning in to you guys. That's a tool to use when you're speaking to people. It feels like you're more related to them when you do that. Eye contact. If you notice, I've been working the room, and this is, I mean, I've done this for tons of times, so it's natural to me to just work and work the room. I don't lock in with anybody for too long or lock in on one person. When you first start speaking to people, that's going to be a challenge for you, because you're going to find that one person that's just giving you this, and you're going to want to just speak to them. You know what I mean? You're going to want to just speak to them. So continue. Work the different sides of the room. If it's a large room, spend probably, 15 seconds working this side. Then come to the middle. And then to this side. Spend about 15 seconds each. Or, work the opposite. This side, that side, then come to the middle. Or start in the middle and then,
Find your rhythm.
Yeah.
What about the thing when people say, if you're very nervous, you kind of look right above your audience?
Absolutely. So that way you don't see them. You don't see them. You're not really, and that's another really good technique to use as well. Looking above the audience, because then you're not focused necessarily on them, and it's more about the room and what you're doing.
Especially with a large audience.
Yeah.
You look in the right direction.
Yeah. Okay. Clarity and energy. So if you notice, my inflection has been up and down throughout this speech. That's an important tool to use as well. Varying your speech. Sometimes I speak fast. Sometimes I'm, a little bit slower with bringing certain things out. That's another important tool that you can use as well when speaking. All right. Control the pace and the tone. So you've seen me do that throughout as well. That's another important piece to be able to captivate the audience and keep them. Pace and tone. You also need to know where you are. Again, it goes back to knowing your audience, because with certain audiences, you need to keep your tone very high. With other audiences, you need to kind of bring it down and be a little bit more relatable to them.
Yes.
That radio voice.
Yes.
Practice storytelling. Again, people love stories.
Yes.
That's why Netflix and Hulu are in business right now. People love stories.
Novels.
My grandma used to watch the story. Well, they called them the stories back in those days. So anytime you have the opportunity of being able to incorporate stories into what you're speaking about, it's always an important piece. I gave you a little one earlier when I was talking a little bit about what happened with my brother and how that helped me throughout my journey, right? And this was a big thing for me when I first started speaking. Like I said, I recorded myself, and listening to those filler words, I was like, geez, this guy is not confident about nothing. However, the people that were teaching me about public speaking, they said, because your message was so believable, I didn't really notice it. So just remember, your audience will give you grace with all the other things we've talked about knowing who you are.
And you're right. The funny part is, Barack Obama used a lot of
Sure did, yes.
Look, all the time.
All the time.
And someone who studied public speaking was like, damn, how you get away with this?
Right.
But because he was so relatable.
He was passionate. He was very passionate.
It allowed him to connect. So like you said, knowing your audience and knowing when to utilize and when.
As his speech was.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Look.
Yeah.
Okay, we're almost done, guys. We're about to wrap up here. Opening and closing. We talked a little bit about this as well. Remember, a fact, a story, or a question can be used when it comes to your opening. Remember, you want that opening to grab the audience. Attention span is how long?
8 seconds.
All right.
7 now.
Right.
6.5.
Close with a memorable statement. Again, that goes back to reiterating the takeaway that you want them to walk away with. Okay? That's an important piece of it. Reinforce your key message. So whatever your key points were throughout, that's what you want to reinforce. This, we've talked a lot about connection, right? So one of the things that I've been reinforcing with you all as we deliver is talking about the connection that you have with people. So keep reinforcing that. And then, what should your audience do next? Brother Hannibal just gave us a great example of why we should use that. Why that takeaway is important. Okay. So this is what I want to do. I want to take this opportunity. Let's let you guys, I want you to apply some of the things that we've talked about today. And you can use the note cards if you want to. But I want you to just start the process of writing out how you would speak about your book. And I want you to keep in mind that this speech would be around about 3 to 5 minutes of time. So in 3 to 5 minutes, what does your audience need to know about your book and about you? Okay? Any questions before we do that, though? Let me open it up for questions.
I mean, I know we're talking about public speaking, but do you ever take the same concept, the same template, it's sounding like to me, and apply it to your writing, like a bio? You know, like it just sounds like you can take this and break it down and apply it to like every single thing.
100%.
I mean, with an effective formula, once you find the formula, you know, you're just plugging in different information.
Everything's a formula.
You got it. 100%. This is based on how I write as well. So this format is exactly how I write. So you can definitely apply it to your writings. Yes. Okay, everyone. So let me just quickly give you an idea of what next steps are going to be. Okay. So as a takeaway from today, in true fashion, I have to make sure that I state this. So the assignment that I just gave you all, which is for you to draft up what your speech looks like. Here's what we're looking for from everyone. Okay. We're looking for you all to record yourself 3 to 5 minutes.
I don't like that way you said that. You said we're looking for you to record. I think we need to be a
No,
little more direct.
let's be direct.
There you go.
Everyone needs to record themselves 3 to 5 minutes. If you go over, that's okay. If you go over just a little bit, that's okay. All right, 3 to 5 minutes, and we want you all to send that through email to us. Okay?
Telegram.
You want to do it in Telegram?
Drop it in the Telegram.
To let everybody? Okay. All right. Perfect. 3 to 5 minutes. Yeah. Of you speaking about your book. The assignment that we gave you today, which is to draft up what your message is going to look like. Okay. Send that through Telegram to us. Okay. Now, let me give you a buy date.
Okay. She was already asking.
Look.
It's on the calendar now.
Today is the 7th, right? Mm-hmm. So by the 21st.
No, it's the 21st right now, so we need more time.
For you, it's the 21st?
The 21st. That's the deadline.
Today, then, huh?
Yep, y'all got that? Hey, if y'all would as well, we have a post survey for you as well to take.
And then also,
We'll send out this deck too. So, will that help everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, we'll send it out.
because I was playing too much. What was the due date?
21st.
and then also, as you're doing it, as you're working on your 3 to 5 minutes and you're working on your homework, reach out. I saw your face a little bit. Reach out to us if you have questions. Even I was finna say I'm available. I was finna lie. I'm not available all the time. I'm off of work on Tuesdays and Saturdays. I do have kids, but if you like, hey, can we schedule a time to get on a FaceTime and we can just set up the FaceTime and set up your camera and we can go back and forth and I can give you pointers, whatever. That can happen too. Just utilize the resources, y'all. Utilize the resources.
What is Telegram?
So we'll get you in. Yeah, we'll get you in the Telegram group.
It's the group
So make sure that we have everyone's email as well. So let's make sure that Javion has everyone's email, so we can ensure that we include you guys on all of the communication as well, and in the Telegram group. Yep. Telegram is an app. It's a messaging app.
Yes. JB, anything you announced today?
We talked about
Yes, it was.
Yes,
I
it
got
was.
some sidebar questions for you.
Okay.
We talked about social media.
Yes.
Do y'all want to drop those in the?
In the Telegram? They're in the Telegram. Yes, right? I think all of our social medias are in the Telegram, right?
I don't know if our social media is.
No?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll drop them in there. We will drop them in there. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
JB,
Yeah.
you have any announcements you want to make?
Yeah.
You sound like I do.
No, man,
It sounds like he's saying like I do, but I forgot something.
No, I'm just asking.
Oh no, I don't.
Does everyone know what the next step is for August?
Oh no, I don't know what August is.
Okay, so next step for now, the takeaway from today is to record your video. Now, here's the other thing, guys. If you need help, so let's say you're struggling and you record something, you're like, wait a minute, I don't know if this sounds so good, and you need feedback, please send it to us. Okay? Yeah. We're more than happy to help guide you through that process as well. Because again, you may not like some of the stuff that you find when you do it that first time. Okay? All right. We're here to help coach you through it. But in August, the reason why I'm referring to August is when we're going to actually have the presentation, where everyone that has published and is ready to speak will be able to speak at that particular point.
We're almost published.
Yeah.
Are almost
Here's my thing.
I'm working on a miracle.
I don't want to be.
We want to first thank you all for coming out to the
Yes.
third masterclass. Congratulations. Yes. We're closing this section out, and as Nakia said, first of all, congratulations to Nakia. Great presentation today. Hope you all learned something. Learned a lot. Hope you took a lot of notes. There's a lot of gems in there as well. See, and I pay attention to them when I do it too. That's the agitation with it. So, August, you'll get notification. August will be our graduation / our annual author summit. Those who are published, Nate Lerner, y'all be ready to present at the both of you.
Look.
Both of you.
Nate's like, he's trying to pass that ball. No.
It don't matter. Both of you be ready to present. The whole part of this whole setup is to get you through the process, teach you how to publish a book, create these principles, and then put you in an environment, one, that you can do your presentation.
Yeah.
Two, to have an audience for you where you can already produce yourselves.
Yeah.
So that's the full circle of the master classes. So be ready for August. So you got about 2 months to get ready. So you got 2 months to even those who are working on their books that want to publish it.
Yeah.
About 2 months to be ready.
And that's enough time, just so you know.
That's plenty of
For sure,
time.
Cash gonna be done before, so I think she gonna be one of the speakers too.
We'll make sure you have it.
Cash is gonna do her book.
And you'll have all that. All that. You don't need caps and gowns. You don't need caps and gowns. So you don't need caps and gowns. You ain't slick.
We giving everybody two rags.
So everybody be ready. This is why the video is important, because it allows us to go through it, to vet it, to give some positive feedback of what to work on, so that you're ready for that day and time. Understand, don't put too much pressure on yourself when that time's come. We're going to be having communications leading up to that. Hey, stop trying to hide behind the pillar. I see you can't run. So be ready. We're excited. This will be the first graduation.
Yes.
You all are the first ones to be able to graduate through this master class.
That's right.
Through the master class.
Through the master class.
Through the master class. You all will be the first ones to do it. So if you don't have any other questions outside of any sidebars, class is concluded, and we want to thank Don and the team, Grassrootz, for allowing us to utilize the space today at Grassrootz.
Yep.
Thank you guys. Make
and
sure.
Please patronize the space. Please patronize the space.